Hi, I'm Damien. I'm going to do kind of a walkthrough on these Lytx drive cams that people have problems with. Um, the basic problem that we get a lot here at Lakota is that they're not powering on. And so it's not responding to like your GM or whoever's in control of your actual database of your Lytx cam. So first thing I always check is you come in here, you turn the key on, it should power on just like how we got. Sometimes it'll go side to side if it's been in hibernation. It's going to come on just like how we got here. If you have no green light, the first thing I always check is check the battery connection. A lot of these are just hooked directly to the battery. And I know when we take batteries apart and we clean them and break them down to load test them, we hook them back up. Sometimes the harness falls behind the battery and you don't know and you don't see it. So that's a lot of common issues. Sometimes I found drivers unplugging the fuses, and then you find that too. But if that's all good, you're powering on just like you are here, then we know that our ignition side's good. So we're going to hold this blue button, and this is going to put us into a diagnostic mode. So it's going to take probably, the light's going to go off, come back on. We're going to continue to hold, and it's going to do this about 40 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. And it should light up 3 blue lights. That lets you know that you're getting ready to go into a diagnostic mode. Once the 3 blue lights come on, we're going to let go, hold it again for another 45 seconds. And then we should get, there's a 3 blue, we're going to let go. We're going to hold for 45 seconds this time. The first time's 30. And it should go, all 7 should go blue. Now, anytime you do fix any of these cameras, you want to make it doing an event. And how you do that is you just hold the button for a couple seconds and let go. And the buttons will go slowly across. And that's called an event. And it'll do a recording and send it to your GM or whoever's running the database. Okay, there's all 7. So now it's going to kick off and it'll come back on. It'll take it a minute. So that's going to come back on. It's going to go back out, and then these lights are going to go red, and then they'll slowly start going green. There we go. Now the first LED here, it goes 1, there's 7 lights, so it goes 1, this is 1, then the 7. So your first light is going to be your vehicle ignition. So the key's on, so it's telling us that we got power. 2 is going to be your GPS. 3 is your cellular signal, which it'll take it a minute or so to come on green. And 4 should be, 4 is it's logged into the network. So like the wireless and it's communicating rather. So it'll take it a minute for this to come on. Now, so technically, all 4 of if it's working properly, all 4 of these should be green. If none of these are green and you have red or yellow, you've got a problem. So you're going to have to call Lytx, which I got the number for them, and it is 1-866-910-0403. And this is a troubleshooting guide too that I'm going to attach to the email for everyone that can also use it if they need it as well, which is pretty much covering what I'm covering. So if you have problems here, you're going to have to call Lytx and tell them, hey, this is what I've got. You've been this far, because if you just call them off the bat, they're going to tell you to do this anyway. So you can see we got all 4 LEDs up and running, so we're good. So now the other 3 red, the 5th one here, is going to be my brake switch. So if I hit my brake, it's going to go green. So we know it's communicating. I hit my left, it's going to be my 6th, my left turn signal. Hit right turn signal, that's my 7th. So we know this camera's functioning properly. All the signals are there. If I didn't have a brake, it stayed red, then we know it's in the wiring. Same thing with left and right, if it wasn't picking up. So we know there's a splice somewhere, or the wire's cut, or it's not picking it up. If you have any of these, like I said, that are red or yellow, you've got a problem. It's not communicating. More than likely, they're going to tell you to replace the camera. To get out of diagnostic mode, you don't, it'll, after 5 minutes, it'll kick itself out. So that kind of tells you exactly where your wiring is and what is going on. Now, a lot of problems that we get is hibernation. So if you have a bus or a vehicle that your battery is draining down, let's say overnight, so what's happening is these are programmed to hibernate. So the minimum is 15 minutes. I've seen them up to 8 hours before. So we always program ours for 15 minutes. So and how you do that is you got to go into the actual network, and your GM's got to do that, and you can go in. I've actually got a link for that too, how to go through step by step to change your hibernation time. We set them at 15 minutes. Now if you come out here and you know it's been over 15 minutes and it's still on, so there's a couple things you need to check. There's an ignition wire. I'll show you that on the harness when we go outside. And if that, and you do this and it's still not communicating, sometimes it'll still communicate but it's still not powering down, it's usually the camera itself. Now when you change these cameras, you'll call Lytx, you'll go through and tell them what you've done, and they might still have you go through it anyway to verify on their end that it's not communicating. When you do this, there's a serial number on these cameras, usually on this side. When you change cameras, you have to change the serial number. The new camera comes with a new serial number. So you've got to tell them that serial number to the asset number of the bus. So that way they know what bus it goes to. You can't just put a new camera in here and go. But other than that, we'll go outside, see it just come out of diagnostic mode, now it's ready to go. To make it cause an event, like I said, you just hold it a couple seconds, let go, you'll see each dot lights up, and that's just like if you was to jam the brakes or anything like that. That will send it to the hub network and let them know, hey, there was an event on bus number 30. Usually they say it takes 24 hours. So if you make it cause an event, it'll take them 24 hours before they can view it. So anytime, like I said, I do any kind of changes or have a problem, I make it do an event to show them, hey, and I go and ask them, hey, did you get an event from bus number such and such? And then they usually tell me, yeah, and I know it's up and running. So let's go outside and I'll show you a couple things on the harness. All right, we're outside here. So majority of our buses, this is the main wire loom coming from the drive camera. So if you checked, it's not powering on. Say you don't have no green line at all on the camera. So you've checked your battery connection, your fuse. So the other thing you want to check is you want to check this brown wire right here. You can see that brown wire is when the key is on, that goes directly to the ignition side. So when you check for voltage here and you have the key on, you should have voltage. If you don't have voltage, that is not going to send power to that camera to say, hey, look, the bus is on, we're getting ready to run, and it won't send any power to turn the camera on pretty much. Now the flip side of that is if you turn the key off and you constantly have voltage there, it will leave the camera on. So if you check your hibernation and it's at 15 minutes and you're still staying on for, like, let's say an hour, we come out here and you just check this brown wire and make sure you're losing voltage when the key's turned off and you're getting it when it comes back on, and so you are losing voltage, then you know, okay, so my ignition wire is cutting power to it, so that should be telling the camera that, okay, we should go in hibernation now because the bus is shut down. And then if you still staying on, then you have to go through diagnostic mode and probably call Lytx and they'll send you another camera. But other than that, that's kind of the basics of in and outs of it. If there's anything that doesn't make any sense, you can call Lytx. They're pretty good. Sometimes they'll leave a number for you to call them back, and they'll call you back pretty quick. I haven't had any problems with them. They help me a lot. So other than that, hopefully you find it useful.